Presentation on technology and assessment, I aim to answer 4 critical questions in order to be able to use assessment effectively and efficiently in my future classrooms. My questions include: what is assessment? Why is assessment important? How can technology be utilized to improve assessments for learning and of learning? And what technology resources would you suggest as solutions for collecting and analyzing data, interpreting results, and communicating findings to improve instructional practice and accelerate student achievement? Over the course of my teacher preparation journey, it has become overwhelmingly clear to me that assessment is an integral part of student learning and effective teaching practices. There are endless versions of the cycle pictured on this slide, but all of the cycles follow the same idea. In order for student learning to take place, the teacher must use assessment in guiding instruction and planning. Assessment refers to the measurement of what students are learning and provides educators with both objective and subjective data in order to ensure student progress and skill mastery. According to the article Assessing Student Learning and Development, A Guide to the Principles, Goals, and Methods of Determining College Outcomes, assessment can be defined as a systematic basis for making inferences about the learning and development of students. It is the process of defining, selecting, designing, collecting, analyzing, interpreting, and using information to increase students' learning and development. Assessment is crucial for both learning and effective teaching to take place. The information gleaned from assessments is extremely valuable when used effectively, as it can help teachers guide the planning of their future instruction to best fit the needs of all of the learners in the classroom. Effective assessment should happen continuously as part of the instruction and provide information about the levels of understanding that the students are reaching. It's especially important, that the learners receive frequent and timely feedback regarding the assessment. There are many types of assessments, and each assessment type serves a different purpose. 3 types of assessments that I will discuss include diagnostic, formative, and summative. Diagnostic assessments refer to assessments that help identify students' current knowledge. Diagnostic assessments are often given at the beginning of the school year or at the beginning of a new unit of study. These assessments aim to discover what students already know about a topic in order for the teacher to use this information in planning what to teach and how to teach. An example of a diagnostic assessment is a pretest. Formative assessment is assessment for learning and is given throughout the learning process in order to determine how students are progressing through a certain learning goal. A primary focus of formative assessment is to identify areas that may need improvement and to make those necessary changes to the instruction immediately. Formative assessment can be both formal or informal. For example, it could include observations during in-class activities or question and answer sessions, both formal, planned, or informal. Summative assessments is usually given at the end of the year or unit and aims to assess a student's mastery of a topic after instruction. Contrary to formative assessment, summative assessment is assessment of learning, not for learning. Summative assessment is more product-oriented and assesses the final product, whereas formative assessment focuses on the process toward completing the product. Examples of summative assessment include final exams, projects, or portfolios. That being said, projects and portfolios could also be assessed throughout the process as a formative assessment, so it's important to remember that how the teacher decides to use and assess a project will determine what type of assessment it is. Although we could continue to assess our students both formally and informally without the use of technology, I think that by using some of the wonderful tech tools that are out there could further motivate and engage our students in the learning process. Also, many apps and programs have the potential to simplify our lives and assess our students in a more transformative and efficient manner. I also think that by using technology in assessments, we will more accurately be able to gather and analyze the data and use our interpretations of the data to inform our teaching practices. There are so many educational apps that could be used for assessment, which made it incredibly hard to decide on a few to include in this presentation. But in the end, I decided to suggest a few apps for both formative and summative assessments. So polls, mini quizzes, warm-ups, and exit tickets are all excellent ways to formatively assess the student's understanding and progress. Apps that I have come across in my research, as well as in the classroom that I have particularly enjoyed using for formative assessment, include Socrative, Kahoot, Zaption, and Padlet. Socrative can be used for quick quizzes or polls, and I think it's a great app to assess students' understanding. Kahoot is a similar concept as Socrative, but there's the option to add a competitive edge. Kahoot allows you to build fun quizzes that students respond to using computers, cell phones, or other devices. Zaption provides a neat way to integrate check-in questions into videos. This allows the teacher to check for comprehension throughout a video instead of waiting until the end. Finally, Padlet serves as a virtual wall or bulletin board where students can collaborate and add ideas in the form of text and multimedia. It can be used as a form of formative assessment by asking students to answer questions about a topic or to create graphic organizers about what they're learning. Seems like there are significantly more tools for formative assessment. I still came across a few for summative assessment. That being said, when choosing apps for summative assessment, I think it's especially important for the teachers to be critical in the decision-making process in order to provide the students with a meaningful task, because I did come across quite a few that were only subpar. When using technology and creating summative assessments, the teacher should especially be conscious of what exactly is being assessed. One app that could be really fun to use for summative assessment is called KidBlog. KidBlog allows students to write for an authentic audience, and it gives the teacher the power to closely monitor the student's writing. Explain Everything is another wonderful app that provides an interactive whiteboard for creating screencast presentations. And with this app, you can import documents, pictures, videos, sound, or browser windows to your project, and then add drawings and annotations, animations, or voiceover narrations. This final project can then be recorded and shared with other people. And I think that the teacher could come up with really innovative and transformative summative assessments using the Explain Everything app. To be honest, sitting through the countless educational apps that exist was slightly overwhelming to me, but I do understand how valuable these tools can be, and I really appreciate having the opportunity now to delve into this digital education world and collaborate with my peers in sharing all of these potentially very useful resources. Thanks for listening to my presentation, and I'm excited to listen to yours.